Who would like to hear
A nose.
the story of Hoppy?
Me.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen and boys and
No,
girls.
wait, let me do some drumming to make it more exciting.
No. Okay.
No, I'm not doing YouTube. Okay. We're gonna have here it is, drums. I'm going to do some. I'll just do guitar. I'm gonna do sound effects, so
Okay.
like.
Anyway,
sound music.
back to the story. The story of a one-legged kangaroo. His name was Hoppy. The one-legged cutest kangaroo in the whole wide world. You've all heard the story about Hoppy's poor leg. Hoppy had an accident a long time ago. Many of you might recall how Hoppy lost his leg when he got hit by a car on the road. And ever since then, poor Hoppy has had one leg. But he never gave up. Hoppy's favourite thing to do in life was to run races. Well, not really run, but maybe hop along in a race. And the problem is, though, once he ran a race with only his one leg. But who remembers what happened in that race? Did Hoppy actually end up winning that race or not? Or did he lose? Does anyone remember?
Me winning.
Oh, he won. Oh, with only one leg. What skill from a one-legged kangaroo? Okay, ladies and gentlemen, now we've heard the story about how Hoppy decided he was going to get his other leg fixed. In order to get his other leg fixed, he had to go along to a shop that specialized in making legs. He went to the town store. A special leg maker. A leg maker for kangaroos. Mr. Fritz was an expert. He loved to help poor one-legged kangaroos. Although there really weren't many one-legged kangaroos in this town, there was only one by the name of Hoppy. Hoppy was his favourite customer. Hoppy was his favourite customer. No, it's really good. I like George's little sound effects. They're good, Max.
Can I do the sound effects?
No.
No, George is doing really good.
I can't even hear anything you're saying.
Okay, Maxie, put your head over here. That way you can hear my story better, louder than George's guitar strumming. Okay.
And I turned it down with it.
And so, Mr. Fritz always enjoyed it when Hoppy would come hopping into his store. This one sunny day, Mr. Fritz hadn't really been making any legs recently because it's been a while since Hoppy had been in his shop. Mr. Fritz had been getting very, very lonely, hoping that maybe one day Hoppy would come in for a new leg. Today was the day. The town was having a special race, a hopping race. It was going to be in 7 days' time. Mr. Fritz knew that Hoppy was going to be due to come in for a new leg. Mr. Fritz thought to himself, well, I wonder what kind of leg Hoppy will be coming in for today. And before you knew it, hop, 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 Hoppy comes knocking on Mr. Fritz's shop door. Oh, Mr. Fritz! Mr. Fritz! It's me, Hoppy. I need to come and get a new leg. You see, I'm about to enter another competition in 1 week's time. And I can't go hopping with my one leg. I know I'm the current champion, and I did win the last race like that, but I would like to try hopping with 2 legs this time. Maybe I can increase my speed and beat everyone in a faster time. Oh, Hoppy, I would be glad. I would be so glad to make you another leg, Hoppy. Come right in and let's talk about legs. Mr. Fritz. Okay, I've tried a brick leg. It was a little bit too heavy. I couldn't hop properly with a brick leg. I tried a plastic one, but that one just broke. Mr. Fritz, I tried a wooden one. The wooden one, I think, I can't remember what happened to that one. I think it fell off my body somehow when I was racing. Mr. Fritz, do you have any ideas on what we could do for a leg? Mr. Fritz scratched his head. He wasn't really quite sure about what kind of leg he could do next. But he liked to come up with amazing inventions and ideas to keep his customer, his number one customer, Mr. What's his name again?
Hoppy.
Oh, sorry, Mr. Hoppy happy. So Mr. Fritz thought about it, and I think what we should do is maybe get some input from Mr. Maxwell Campbell right here, or Miss Georgia Sky. What kind of leg do you think Hoppy should have this time?
I think she should have a leg made out of,
Mom, do you like my sound effect?
ropes,
Out of what?
out of,
What about out of...
extreme robot technology.
Robot technology?
Hey, Mom.
Oh, Georgia, do you think
Hey,
robot
Mom.
technology would work good?
Nah.
Well, what do you think?
Why don't they just get his broken leg and get some tape and tape it back together?
Oh, that's also a pretty neat idea. But I think for this running race, we should try the robot technology. Okay, so Mr. Fritz, I think it would be good to make a leg out of robot technology. I've never had a leg made out of that. Oh, I think it would be quite technologically advanced, and it could help me win the race in 1 week. I think that would be a great idea, Hoppy.
But it costs a lot of money.
But the only problem with that is that it's going to cost a whole lot of money. You see, for me to make a leg using all that technology, it is going to cost me thousands. I will have to buy the wires and the computerized chips and the special metal components. And, well, before you know it is going to set me back in quite a lot of dollars. So, Hoppy, do you realize that this is going to be a very expensive leg? Mr. Fritz, I am quite a wealthy kangaroo, and I am pretty sure that I can go down to my local bank and draw out enough money to cover the leg for you. Okay, Mr. Fritz? So please get started on my robotic leg. I'm very excited to be trying it out for the race coming up in 7 days. Okay, Hoppy, sure enough, I can get that done for you. I'll have to work overtime though, because to make a robotic leg, it's going to take a lot of hard work. Anyway, okay, so back to the drawing board. Okay, Mr. Hoppy, let me measure your leg and let's see what size we need to make this thing for you. Stretch out your body on this rack and stretch out your other leg, your good leg, and let's see how big we need to make this. So Hoppy lays down on the bed, well, a special rack, a bed rack, whatever it is. And yes.
I'm getting tired of beatbox. You don't have to.
It's okay. You don't have to do any more sound effects, Georgia. That's fine.
were they good?
Yes, they were absolutely awesome. They really matched so well. So Hoppy is laying down on the rack, and Mr. Fritz pulls out his special tape measure and measures the length of Hoppy's new motorized leg. Okay, Hoppy, so it looks like your leg is going to be about 1 meter in length. And I will have it all ready for you in about 6 days. That gives you 1 day to practice your hopping before the big competition. Will that suit you? Oh, yes, Mr. Fritz. That would be just wonderful. Okay, I will be back in 6 days. So Hoppy leaves the store and says goodbye to Mr. Fritz. Bye, Mr. Fritz. I will see you in 6 days. I'm greatly looking forward to my new leg. Mr. Fritz is so excited to be making this special leg for Hoppy. He's never made a leg like this before in his whole life. He's hoping he can succeed because it would be such a shame for 6 days to come round and to have a failed project. That would just be so disappointing for poor Mr. Hoppy, who needs the leg in time for the competition. So, Mr. Fritz gets to work. He orders in all the parts he's going to need. The bolts, the nuts, the metal plates, the chips, the wires.
The candy.
He doesn't need candy to make a freaking leg.
The poop.
But he doesn't need poop to make a leg. What are you talking about? Hey, what do you think this leg's made out of?
The fart.
Hey, stop changing the story. This is not funny. This is not a joke. This is serious business. Poor Hoppy. He needs a second leg if he's going to win this competition. Apparently, there's some kangaroos that are going to be entering who are bigger than him, stronger than him, and apparently faster than him. Poor Hoppy has got to win this comp. He has got to win it. Hey, go to sleep.
Toilets all
Go to
around.
sleep. Stop changing this. Anyway, lie down.
I'm going to sleep now.
Huh?
I'm going to
You
sleep.
going to sleep? You don't want to hear the rest of the Hoppy story?
No,
Huh?
I'm too tired to even watch the show.
We're not watching a show. We're
Right.
telling a story.
Huh? I can't.
About Hoppy,
No,
the one-legged kangaroo.
Can't.
You see the special leg made up right now.
I'm going to die.
Okay.
No, first
All right.
let
Good
me-
night. Love you, Harry. I'll come and say good night to you in a sec. Okay.
No.
Lie down, Georgie.
No, Mom, you're saying it now.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
literally about to pass
Oh,
out
okay.
now.
I
I'm
am.
just going straight to sleep.
Okay, that's cool. All right. Love you, baby. I'll see you soon.
Hey, Mom.
I love you.
Okay.
Listen.
Hey, Mom, can we just
Georgia, lay down.
story now?
Yes, lay down. Stop interrupting.
No, on the camera.
No. Lay down. Lay down. This is gonna be your YouTube video. Okay.
On YouTube?
Yes. Lay down.
My YouTube video?
Yes, you can upload it.
No!
What? Well, I'll upload it.
Don't
Okay.
upload it on my channel
Well, I'll upload it on my channel then.
because it has poop, toilet, pee.
Yeah, I know. Okay, go close that door over there. Go close that door, quick.
No.
Hurry, we need silence. I need to focus on the story. Quickly, go close that door. Hurry, we need to know what happens with the story. Quick, Georgia. Run. Quickly, Georgie. Run, Georgie, run. Close the door. Okay, good girl. Oh,
Is that video off?
no? Why? What? It's okay. It's okay.
You better not post that on YouTube.
Well,
Because it has all our voices on it.
well, no one knows who you are.
It does not matter. You're going to edit that out.
Huh? What, you want to go to the bathroom?
Oh my gosh. Okay, that was even worse.
Isn't there a bathroom out there you can use?
There's no lights, Mom. Freaking turn it off.
Crap. How long are you going to be in there?
30 freaking seconds.
Oh, okay, well, I'll pause it then. Well, I don't have to pause. That means I have to, like...
Oh my gosh.
Just hurry up and go. Close the door and just go. Quick.
No.
Quick.
Don't forget the
Mom,
Okay,
do you
guys.
understand the meaning
I
of
need it.
sleep?
Okay,
I want to
know.
go to sleep.
Okay, go to the bathroom then. I need to finish the story for boys and girls.
Hurry up and turn off the video then.
Okay, quickly. No, I can't because I have to keep going with my story. before I lose focus.
You're not posting it on YouTube. I'm really going to that.
Just go close the door. I can cut this part out, okay? I can edit it. Just close the door, quick. Okay.
Ah.
Alright, who's ready for the rest of the story? Okay, keep on you, Georgia. See, I'm even going to edit out that burp.
Hurry up.
Okay, alright, so. I need to focus here. I don't want the fan on me, though, Georgie, because Mummy's a bit cold. Baby's got a sore throat coming on. Okay. Alright. Hoppy goes back to his house.
Can we
He's
watch
quite
it with
excited.
the stuff?
Shh.
Can we watch it with the
Maybe we will see. Hoppy's quite excited about the new prospect of having a leg that is robotic. It's going to be the most technologically advanced leg he's ever owned. So,
That would be
Hoppy wants to be in
horrible.
tip-top shape before the run, before the competition. So he decides he's going to work out and do
he's
exercises.
gonna get a bow on his head.
What are you
and
talking
look
about?
Like a
You are
girl. And then he's gonna
Georgia.
get gay.
Georgia, you're interrupting the story. Now lay down and go to sleep.
No, I'm not
Georgia,
going to sleep.
Georgie, lay down. Okay, you're going to interrupt the story. So, Hoppy decides he's going to work out. He has to strengthen his arms and strengthen his one leg. If he doesn't strengthen his one leg, his other leg might fail him. We don't want it to fail him in the competition. So he goes down to the local gym and he works out and he works out and he strengthens his muscles and he has protein shakes and he gets stronger and stronger and stronger. And he does this every day for the 6 days. He passes a friend of his in the street, a fellow kangaroo. And the fellow kangaroo says, "Hoppy, good evening." "Hoppy, what are you up to? You're looking very strong and very handsome right now."
And fought.
Georgia, shh, quiet. Okay, that's enough. Shh. You're interrupting the story, okay? Maxie needs to hear this.
The story.
Georgia.
Maxie needs
Georgia.
to hear this.
Georgia.
Georgia.
Georgia, Mummy can't finish it, baby, unless you let
Georgia,
Mama do it.
Mama can't finish it.
Hoppy says, "Well, I'm actually in training for the competition.
Hoppy says,
Are you going
"I
to..."
am actually in training for the competition."
Georgie, no, baby. Let Mama finish this for Maxie. Okay, you don't have to listen to it. Lay down, Georgie, and go to sleep while you're listening. Quickly, babe.
Monday down when I go.
He says, "Are you going to be in the competition coming up?" And his friend said, "Well, actually, I am, Hoppy. I've been training very hard because I would love to win the competition." Hoppy says, "Well, I want to win the competition too, and I'm getting a special leg made at the moment by Mr. Fritz." "Oh, Mr. Fritz is making you a new leg? Well, that sounds exciting. Well, good luck with your new leg." Hoppy says, "Thank you, my friend. I'll see you at the competition in 7 days." And so Hoppy goes back home. Suddenly, it's time for the leg to be finished. And he gets a phone call from Mr. Fritz. Ring, 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 ring. Hello? "Oh, yes, it's Mr. Fritz here. I'm just calling to speak to Hoppy. I wanted to let Mr. Hoppy know that his leg was ready and he can come down and try it on and see how it works." "Oh, Mr. Fritz, I'm so glad that the leg's ready. I'm excited about this. I'm going to come down right now to your store." "Oh, very well. Come down straight away, Mr. Hoppy. The price is $1,020. I do hope you have the cash to pick up your leg because it cost a lot of money to make." "Oh, Mr. Fritz, oh, that's just not a problem. I have an inheritance in my bank account of $1 million, so $1,000 is not very much for me. I can afford it very easily, thank you. And I will be down there with the money in 30 minutes. So Hoppy gets off the phone. He goes past his bank. He puts his card in the machine and tries to draw out the $1,000. Unfortunately, his card denied the money. Mr. Hoppy was so upset. "What is going on with my card? How come I can't draw out $1,000? This is ludicrous. I need to draw out the money so I can go pick up my leg. So Mr. Hoppy gets inside the bank and tries to speak to the bank manager and ask what's going on. Excuse me, Mr. Bank Manager, but I'm trying to draw out $1,000 on my card and I'm having no luck. It said denied. And if I don't have the money to pay for my leg, my $1,020 leg, I will not be able to run the competition in 7 days. The bank manager said, well, Mr. Hoppy, I'm very afraid I'm not sure what's going on there. Let me check your bank account and I can tell you why it's been denied. So the bank manager looks up Mr. Hoppy's account. He says, Mr. Hoppy, I'm very sad to tell you this, but you don't have $1 million in your bank account. I don't, said Mr. Hoppy. I don't have $1 million. I'm afraid you don't, Mr. Hoppy. You've only got $950 in there. And I'm not sure what happened to the other hundreds of thousands, but they seem to have just vanished. Oh, Mr. Hoppy was so disappointed. He needed $1,020 to pick up his leg. He only has $950. What is he going to do? He has to go talk to Mr. Fritz and tell Mr. Fritz he doesn't have enough money to pay him. He's very upset about this, and now he has to work out why he has missing money in his bank account and who could have stolen it. Maybe it was a thief. Maybe it was someone from the competition who didn't want him to win or to pick up his leg. Hoppy goes down to the shop and speaks to Mr. Fritz. Mr. Fritz, it's Hoppy here. I need to have a word with you. Hi, Mr. Hoppy. Yes, your leg is ready. That will be $1,020, thank you. Well, actually, Mr. Fritz, there's just a slight problem with that. You see, I just went to the bank and I put my card in the machine, but unfortunately, my card was denied. I really don't know what's going on. I had about $1 million in there, and somehow the $1 million has disappeared, and all I have is $950. And I am about to report this crime to the police, and I need to find out who stole my money because I need to pay you the money for the leg. Mr. Hoppy, I am so sorry to hear the story of that. You definitely need to report that to the police. Okay, Mr. Hoppy, well, let me think of what we can do. It did cost $1,020 to make this leg, and you say you only have $950. Well, that's very unfortunate. Maybe we can make an arrangement where you pay me the $950 now, and maybe you can come into the bank when you find out what happened to the rest of your money, and you can pay me the rest of it. Will that work for you, Mr. Hoppy? Mr. Fritz, oh, that would just be so amazing. If you could do that for me, I would do anything to owe you whatever money I owe you. I will give you interest on top of it. I will buy you an ice cream and a gift and a packet of biscuits and a candy and whatever else I can think of. I would do anything to get my leg, okay? You know how important it is for this competition, and you know I've only got $950, so that would just be wonderful. Thank you very much. I'm exhausted after saying that. Okay, anyway, so Mr. Fritz, thank you. Can I try my leg on now? You sure can, Mr. Hoppy. Lay down on the table and I will fit the leg to your body and we will see how it looks and how it works. Oh, thank you, Mr. Fritz. You are just an absolute lifesaver. I don't know what I would have done without you. Okay, I'm so excited about my new leg. Okay, please stick it on. So Mr. Fritz gets the robotic leg and he fits it onto Hoppy's body. It goes on just perfect. It's the perfect size, the perfect fit. It moves like magic. Hoppy has 2 amazing legs now. Not just one, Chapter 2. Hoppy goes hopping out the shop. He's so excited with his leg, his new leg. He happens to go hopping past his friend, the one that's going to be in the competition. Hoppy, I noticed that you have 2 legs. You are correct. I have 2 legs. I just collected my new robotic leg from Mr. Fritz, and it works just amazingly. Well, Hoppy, I'm glad to hear that. It looks very impressive. I'm not sure if you'll be able to win the competition, of course, because, you know, I'm going to be in the competition myself and I've been training very hard. And, although your leg is great and all, I just don't know if it's going to be sufficient enough for you to win. But good luck, best of luck, and I will see you in a few days. Hoppy could not believe the way that his friend was behaving. This was his friend of 20 years, and he was behaving like that. Was he the one that stole the money from his bank account? Surely not. His friend would never betray him like that. Unless he wasn't really his friend. Unless he was a betrayer. How are we going to know? That will come in episode 2. For now, there's 3 days left for the competition. Hoppy has a new leg. He owes Mr. Fritz $70. And he has to work out what happened to his missing money in the bank account. And whether his friend is really a friend after all. But we will not know in this episode. So we will be back for episode 2
Of Pooh.
of Pooh. That's right.